You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
The snap, the kick, it's been blocked again! Oh my! It's been blocked again! He's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyree Cleveland! Oh my! I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw, pops and fires the ball over the middle. It's Corey! It's Corey! Touchdown! Corey's got a touchdown! Oh my! Corey's got a touchdown!
Hands it off to Harmon. He comes back. Say goodbye.
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out a winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale. You have now.
I don't know what's going on.
Hey,
We'll figure it
Stadium
out.
and we are live right now. I think like the
do it
side
live.
screen, we're full screen.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome,
Yeah.
chat. Stadium and Gale. Same corner, same time. Happy Martin Luther King Day. It's your boy Corey. Let's hang out. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Did that fix it? Yeah. Sorry. We got a new platform here. We're figuring it out. This is the first time we went live. So yeah, a little live action producing for you guys.
Oh, got me in the chat.
Demon in the
I'm
chat.
about to be a
All right,
demon.
boys and
in the
girls,
chat.
ladies and gents,
There
welcome
it
to
is.
another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your boy Corey.
It's Dan.
Delatorre.
J Scar, what it do, baby?
What up, 2-5?
Yes, sir.
Bro, I love that. I haven't had someone call me my number in a long time. That's when you know you're washed.
What was your number?
I wore I was 19. Shout out to Mike Lowell. Got to high school and the third base coach who had been there for 30 years wore number 19 and told me to
Y'all fighting over
kick
19?
rocks. So we switched to 8. We switched to 8. He didn't even wear like his jersey. So like Sully wears number 7, but doesn't wear the jersey. He just wears like a pullover. And I'm like, what if that dude came to school and wanted number 7? He goes, he can go to a different school. I'm like, that's wild. That's crazy.
I wore number
8
6
was my number.
in high school. Just locked in.
Not
I
good
didn't
enough
want them.
for
I could
number
have got
1.
one if I
You were
wanted on my
single
team, Nicholas.
I was.
I
digit.
wanted 6.
Okay.
Vern was being a little girl. Vern didn't want to share one with nobody, so that was off for me.
Vern had
It
that
was
type of
off
clout
for-
on the
oh my
team. Vern
goodness.
just demanded.
Listen, we need to get. Listen, I've tried to get Vern on, but this might be an LP situation. We might need Jordan to reach
VH
out to
love me.
Vern
VH love me. I
Already.
probably can get him on here.
because he's got a great story. We won't tell it now. He's got a great story of how he got number 1 because they were trying
that
his
was a
ass in
good
number
one.
16 for a
the
bit.
16, yeah, that was
One
was
game,
good.
Miami game,
wore
he
for
went
what,
crazy.
3 games?
Yeah.
One game.
One game.
they tried. They tried his ass. They tried his ass for one game. Number
man. He was
16.
so close, foot just stepped out of bounds, man. But I think everybody knows that story of Vern. But we're gonna tell it when he comes on here. We're gonna tell it like it's never been told before, like from his perspective. But what y'all got?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
he
checked
actually got
out
a
his show,
little
man. I checked out his show.
That's some yeah.
Y'all do anything special this weekend? Happy birthday, Dan. Happy birthday, my boy. I almost forgot, bro. Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flexing the penthouse for the birthday. Yeah. No, great weekend. We went over to Dunedin, small little beach town here in Tampa Bay area. So we're there. I want to give a shout out to Antoine Scott, a listener of the show, big fan. Corey, I know that you've met him a few times. Nick, you might have as well. We ran into his wife. They were doing a little market on Friday night, and Brooke was just walking around, and she goes to Brooke. She's like, "Is that Dan?" And I didn't hear her. She's like, "Yeah." She's like, I want to let you know that my husband's a big fan of your podcast. We met a few years ago. Took me a second to remember. All kind of clicked. So shout out to
100%.
the Scott family. The great little market that she does, or that she has, or you're staying there at the market. So shout out to her. But great weekend. Got to celebrate and then just kind of vibe and relax the last day and a half to recover.
Let me tell you, nothing feels better
Yeah.
than someone coming out. You're with like the wife, the significant other. Is that?
Yeah.
Honey, can you grab their phone, take our picture for us, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think she's used to it. So we took a photo. Antoine DM'd me on Saturday.
Yeah, a little
He's like, I
paparazzi.
heard you met a stalker. So that was very, very fun. Yeah. So no, but I appreciate it, boys. Big 37. We were talking about it before.
Oh,
so
yeah.
My Sean
Yeah.
Alexander year.
I'm trying to figure
Yes,
out
sir.
mine this
Jordan
year
on
with
that.
43, man. Might do some digging. I have no idea who wore 43 ever. Probably somebody in leather helmet days.
43.
Oh, you're in your
42.
You're in your Jackie Robinson year.
100%.
42, retired by LMLB.
Yeah, 45 is going to be,
close to the
I might
MJ
do a photo shoot.
MJ comeback.
Yeah.
I might do a photo shoot, man. You get into anything this weekend? I've been seeing your pictures, man. Your daughter's beautiful, brother. You get into anything this weekend?
I can't stop. I posted something today about like a car wash, and I had two different people
Yeah.
DM me being like, more Frankie. And I'm like, sorry, we're just doing NIL deals over here, man. I'm just trying to get a car wash. Just hanging out with her. We're slowly doing food now, like real food. So we did like some mashed sweet potato.
Sleeping
baby
longer,
food.
too.
Okay, I know she tearing it up.
Oh, yeah?
She's just spitting it back out. Just spitting it. It's just a mess. It's a mess, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
My dad was in town.
Oh, mine wore 43.
My in-laws are in town. My mother-in-law, she had her health stuff, so she's back up, getting checked out at Shan's. We're all good, just like routine stuff, but got like the whole squad,
Nice.
the whole family.
See, Ahmad wore 43. Ahmad led the league in ugly numbers.
Yeah, no,
That's crazy. My Ahmad year.
yeah, I was looking it up. You don't have a lot. Dennis Eckersley.
Legend, Hall of Famer.
R.A. Dickey, Raul Mondesi.
Listen, we had some great baseball players in 43.
Yeah.
Closer for the A's, World Series champion, Hall of
In
Famer.
the post, though, in the Instagram post.
Sure you can.
Elk.
Troy Polamalu was 43 currently.
Oh, it's your
Polamalu,
Polamalu
okay.
year.
I like Polamalu.
It's your
That
Polynesian
works.
year. It's
That
your Troy
slaps.
Polamalu year.
Yeah.
I can put that in the Instagram post.
Hair looks the same?
Yeah, hair looks the
slaps a
same.
little bit different than elk.
Mm-hmm.
Eck. Like, all right.
Eck.
You get into anything this weekend,
Oh,
Jordan? I didn't do
jeez.
anything special, man. You get into anything?
All right, let's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Nothing special for me, man. Just kicking it with the kids, man. Soaking up all the family time that I got. Nothing really crazy. Hanging out with her, my wife's family, and just another day, another thing, man. Just happy to be here.
Already.
Happy to spend time with my kids every week.
We ready to jump into this Gator news?
It's awesome, man. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. Let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at Brunt Insurance.
As
real
y'all
quick, and we'll
already
get
know,
started. Lots to talk
Stadium
about
and
today.
Gale is powered by the great folks at Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. If you need insurance anywhere in the Southeast, but most definitely from the Panhandle to the Keys, visit Brunt Insurance Financial, bruntinsurance.com. I'm sorry. Visit bruntinsurance.com. Free quote. It don't cost a dime to get a free quote. Life insurance, mobile, home insurance, trailer insurance, motorcycle insurance, car insurance. I think I said life already, but it's free to get a quote. Greg has been insuring my house for the last decade, it seems, man. So tap in with them. Great customer service. You can give them a call at any time. You get that mom and pop feel. 954-589-2204. Big coverage.
Greg, what it do, baby?
All right, guys. Let's knock out some of the housekeeping here. Over the last couple of days, it has been officially announced not just in the Stadium and Gale group chat that we had, but officially announced that running back coach Jabbar Jalouk and wide receiver coach Billy Gonzalez have both signed new contracts for the next couple of years. That leaves, I believe, just Rob Sale and Mike Peterson heading into January 31st without officially signed contracts that they are willing to announce, as well as still the open defensive coordinator spot that Austin Armstrong vacated. We will talk about the offensive coordinator here in a second. I know you guys are all going to be up in arms about that, but what are your guys' thoughts? Obviously, Jabbar Jalouk was a no-brainer, but overall, what are you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
on where we
Jaluk
sit
needed
right
to
now?
get extended and also a pay raise. Just he's been putting out a good product, man. Running back room just been clicking. So I like both coaches that are brought back. I'm not mad at it. I know there's some people out there that wanted Billy G out of here. I just see more. It ain't a whole. It's not a lot to gripe about in my opinion. Even if I wanted Billy G out of here personally, I wanted to promote within, like just guys like Decker, somebody from on the program in the program now that I want to upgrade. And we still got all those guys in the fold. So I don't see a reason to get rid of them if we just was going to promote guys that are still on the staff, like just especially now because there's no limit to who could coach on the sidelines. Now I like Billy G, man. I'm not mad at either one of those guys getting extended.
I feel like
Bro,
Billy
shout
G
out
gets
to-
a lot of hate. Go ahead.
Shout out to Corey with the
It's
pronunciation
pretty
of
easy.
Decker.
Oh, you just got to ignore
Well,
that.
there's that O in there. So we were doing like our Florida Victorious onboarding things, and with the new guys, I was talking to a couple of the receivers. Like, oh yeah, we're going to go meet with Coach. And I'm like, Decker. They're like, but that's not how it's. I'm like, it's just Decker. Let me put you on game before you go to your first meeting with your coach and call him something crazy. Yeah, it's interesting because Bill. I think you're just saying, Dan. Like Billy G gets kind of hate, and I think it's all just about recruiting. Like the narrative about Billy G is that he's not going to go out and recruit. I think if you look at his resume, it's just a bunch of dudes in the league.
Hello. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of dudes in the league.
That's how bad. I mean,
It's
No, what else
so.
do you want,
I think they
boy?
perform well too.
Yeah,
I think they
yeah.
run
I
good
mean, I think
routes.
everyone
I
wants,
think
you
they
know-
block well. Not to cut you off, but like the position is not being performed badly.
Yeah.
Anybody Billy has touched, he has elevated their game. Like it's not one receiver that he has touched.
I didn't like his
elevated the game
evals
somehow,
at a
some
certain
way.
point. He was just getting trees that couldn't like separate. So once Billy Napier is setting that board, that's his expertise. I think he's closing in on a lot of these recruits that we are landing in that room.
Yeah.
But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think that room's fine, bro. I ain't mean to cut you off, Nick.
I think you could make an argument that like at times Florida has it
Got
almost looks like
small.
an overcorrection in a cycle or two because you'll end up with an entire receiver room that's 6 foot or smaller, and then you have that nothing against like Trayvon Grimes, but like there was like a bunch of Trayvon Grimes on the team. It was like everyone was 6'4" and had like decent straight line speed, but they were long striders. It took them a while to get there, and then they weren't creating separation. But I think like you said, like Billy Napier cut his teeth on receiver, and like if he's setting the board, I just trust at this point. I'm just like
We just
if they
got two
offer a
5 stars,
receiver,
baby.
it's probably a good take. I think they've earned that trust. With
We
the
just
guys
got
they've
2
got.
5 stars, man. Like I ain't got no gripes ever. I
Yeah,
got
man.
energy for some other spots, but receiver, I'm cool on. What you got, Dan? You got something for us?
Right.
no, I mean, I think that Nick kind of hit it. I think that Billy G gets a lot of probably unnecessary hate. I think that there may be some better wide receiver coaches in college football, but I think overall, I think that he puts guys in the league. I think that Florida's been able to be productive at the wide receiver position. I think some of the shortfalls of the wide receiver position have been the delivery of the ball or the offense as a whole. So I think that Billy G has rightfully earned an extension. He's going to put a couple more people in the NFL this offseason. Whether you get them through the transfer portal or whether you develop them from high school, the role of his job is to produce wide receivers that run crisp routes, that know how to block, and ultimately get the opportunity to play in the NFL. And Elijah Badger and Shim DK are going to have that
Had their
opportunity.
best career seasons.
Yeah, by far.
Hello.
By far. Made both of them a lot of money this season, and then you go and you recruit, well, could you recruit better? Sure. But I don't think that's only on Billy Gonzalez to deliver. You have to have a product that's worth 5-star caliber. And obviously they were able to get some of that this offseason. So
yeah, I hope he don't do what
continued
that's why in the
improvement.
comments
But
saying that he
are you
did play
guys
Spirito over over Mazzell. Like that is a fireable offense if you try that year, like next year. Like you can't do that.
Why is that?
Because
that?
Mazzell's a
Say, what's
legit
that?
threat to score every time he's on the
Say,
field. And
what's
that?
Spirito hasn't scored yet. Like, has he scored?
Dirty 30s now?
All right, bro. I ain't got to really learn his name.
Spirito?
Yeah, you got to earn
Spirito.
right pronunciation.
Bro, my guy's calling
What's
him
silent in
Dorito
that name?
over
Something
here.
silent.
Spirito.
Yeah, it ain't perfect. I don't
Spirito.
like the way some of the snaps was distributed last fall. Like that's a common thing on here, but we can nitpick at every spot. You feel me? I think we're fine. We'll see how I want to see what else we got on the coaching board.
I feel like honestly, both coaches were they were good keeps. I feel like those were one or two of our best coaches on the staff as far as the running back room is obviously elevated since he came there, and since I was there with Billy, he's always been elevating receivers, like I mentioned. So I really don't see that as a bad get. Maybe he is a bad recruiter, like everybody says, but once he gets a player in the building, I feel like he can take their talents through the roof. Like we said, it's blocking on the perimeter.
Right.
That takes nothing but effort and just respect for your coach. Because like, it's dudes out there who are literally feeling like I'm receiver one. I ain't blocking nobody. Throw me the rock. Like it's never none of that out there. Even from when he was out there with Dan, you got dudes blocking downfield, running downfield, like, and that's what you need for championship football. Like
Yeah.
everybody, all 11, all bought in. So I kind of like that, man. I think that was a good pick for us to keep him on
The
board.
first thing they do when they go to Indy, receivers, block.
Tell you,
They're
like,
just blocking.
he got the recipe to make a good receiver now. So
Bro, Dallas Wilson and VB3 are going to get out there and be like, excuse me, what are we doing?
Right, what we doing? Where's the
listen,
routes? Yeah.
if you don't block, you won't play for
I mean,
Billy,
you
for
watch
Billy
one of
Gonzalez.
the Dallas
You gotta
Wilson
block.
videos that went viral was him pancaking some DB towards the end of the year. So I want to see both of those guys play early too. That's what I want to see. That's what I want from Billy as well. I want to see him get these boys on the field a little earlier, like a little quicker with development wise. We never got to see Andy Jean do anything. I know he battled injuries. Mazzell, he's going into his red shirt sophomore or junior year, red shirt sophomore. So he's been 3 years on campus. So it's their time. Like everybody keep talking about sturdy wide receiver one. Mark me down for 11 wide receiver one until I'm proven wrong. I think that boy got something. You on mute. You on mute, Jordan.
We'll see.
WR1?
Oh,
WR1?
Yeah, you good. You good.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say he's definitely fast as ever, but I like that.
So that leaves 3 openings, right? So you still have your DC opening, which we'll see what that means. With the Florida's going to run it back with 2, they're going to run it back with 1, they're going to run it back with 1 that's not on the current coaching staff. We'll see. And then still no word on Mike Peterson, who coaches outside linebackers and edges, and then no movement on Rob Sale yet officially. So waiting on next steps there. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I just want real quick. It's just so many out. I'm just walking on. I know they watching, man. What if, let's just talk this real quick, like scenario. What if they run the entire staff like back? Would you be mad? Would you be disappointed? Would you have wanted change? Like if they run the entire staff back intact, of course they got to add one guy, whoever replaces Austin Armstrong. But outside of that, if they run everything back, what would your feelings be?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that most of the staff has put together a 19-19 3-year record, and I think this is an opportunity to try to find upgrades. We haven't found any yet, so that's kind of where I'm at, right? There should be an opportunity for you to look back over the course of 3 years and say, let's keep the people that we think are going to take us to that 8-4, 9-3, 10-2 record, 11-1. You know, do we have that now, or is there an opportunity to go improve? You know, the way that I look at it is offensive line. I don't know, right? Rob Sale's been here for 3 years. You've always had two people. Is Jonathan DeCoster capable of being a sole coach on the offensive line? I don't know enough about him, and I don't know enough about his experience or what he, you know, is able to coach up, right? He came as a quality assistant with, I think, from the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, some years of experience, a well-liked guy on the team, but I don't know, right? Is that the person that you feel comfortable with leading that group? And then, you know, Mike Peterson is a big question mark to me, right? You've got some talent at the edge position. Do we feel like it's underdeveloped over those years? Obviously, Mike P has a special place in Gators' hearts as a Gator great, you know, but do you try to make a move there? And who do you go get? So that's kind of where I'm at, but I don't think that you can run back the exact same staff, even though they're on the longest winning streak in the SEC.
Shout out to Jonathan DeCoster,
Yeah.
Everglades High School alum, fellow 954 bandit.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
I got nothing but love for the guy. I just don't know much about him, you know?
Proper.
I
Honestly,
think if you hire Jonathan, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not trying to disparage him, but I think that if you hired somebody with his track record to be the offensive line coach at Florida by himself, I think that fans would be upset.
Fair that. But I personally think that I liked what Core said. I think that I wouldn't have a problem running back the same staff, to be honest. I think part of the reason why our record was like that is, to be honest, like quarterback play made a big change in our record and can continue to be a big change in our record. And I don't see any position group that was declining as the season went on. You feel me?
Sure.
I feel like everything kind of elevated. The defensive backs were shaky early in the year. They got it together. The linebacker
And they got hurt. You were
right.
You were down bodies too.
Still finding ways to play better. The defense collectively, from like the box and the front seven, elevated their game as the year went on. We started getting to the quarterback more as a D line, started fitting the run a little better with the linebackers. So as I'm looking at the team from top to bottom, I think the main focus with like having a team for real is building that family and building that trust within the building. And like when you get to bringing new guys in and new stuff in, it kind of changes the culture a little bit. It doesn't mash up everything for real, but it can change stuff up to where you got guys who don't feel as comfortable how they were feeling before with their previous coach. So I feel like if we were moving up as a program in all positions, I really don't see too many changes need to be made. Like obviously we need a defensive coordinator, we need to fill that spot. But as far as all the other position groups go, if all the players are comfortable with their coaches and they're not like on some like your star guy isn't wanting out with his coach, I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We moving in the right direction. We got a Heisman candidate quarterback. I can see big changes coming for us and it's elevating and making all of us look good.
Go ahead.
If I'm the head coach and I look back at the season defensively, obviously you have to replace somebody. Mm-hmm. But if I look back at the season, I think outside of 3 games, Miami, A&M, and Texas, outside of those 3 games, defensively we played well enough to win. And I think Texas, you probably are dealing with guys who are like, well,
yeah,
we're on QB3. We're on QB3. Like, what is it?
Right.
What is it going to be? Honestly, we need to make merch.
Yeah. I don't think they listen to the pod.
I think our shirts need to say
listened to the pod before.
Our shirts need to say, "I can spin it," in quotes at the Dash Delatory. If you want me to tell you that you can spin it, we need to make shirts.
If you invest the money in the design of that, they just don't know if they're going to move off the shelf.
Thousands of shirts, thousands. I think that Texas game, like once something bad happened, it was like, all right, this is it. And then you kind of see some guys, that natural human instinct of like, this isn't going well. Let's just get through it. Let's just get through this. Let's see if we can ask them at halftime for a running clock and go on, get back to the great state of Florida. Offensively, I know you guys keep saying it. I'm telling you, I do not think an offensive coordinator is coming.
No. I don't think anybody actually believes it.
I'm going with the ship. I'm going down with the ship until this staff is officially called. Have you seen his comments today? We got to commit from a transfer portal quarterback. We're talking about every 90% of the comments is go get a OC. I just think the pressures it's going to be enormous if he don't, bruh.
Yeah.
That's my overall take. Just even on the staff, I try to like they all got better. Like I'm with Jordan. I like the take. Like they did all improve. Um, so I can't knock that. Like even offensive line, like Sell, like these guys are getting better. But what I try to gauge them against like the football I'm seeing in the playoffs, like watching these coaching staffs and the product they put on the field. I don't think we're hitting on all cylinders like that, and that's when I get a little like discouraged about the staff that we got because it looks like there's a big gap between us and like the teams that are in the Final Four. While DJ Lagway is very good, I don't know if he elevates us to the status of the teams that we're seeing, that got Chip Kelly as the OC, they got Al Golden as a DC. Like those, it seems like the teams that are making those real runs have former head coaches, those type of vibes at coordinator positions, man. So that's the way I look at it. I think we're improving, but I think
Yeah. I mean, I think
we
that
got to figure that out because I do like locker room culture does matter. Like what Jordan was saying, a lot of that does matter.
Yeah, so that's where we're at, though. I don't I don't think that right now Florida is on path to hire an offensive coordinator. Could that change? Sure. We're still waiting on some decisions on coaching. I tell people all the time when we talk about coaches is we can talk about it a little bit more when there's a position open on the field. And right now, there's not an open coaching
That's the company
spot.
line.
Yeah, that's it. That's an old Nick
Company
Dellatore
line.
line. There right now is not an open position today for that role. Could that change? Who knows? But right now, there's not an open spot for that right now.
Buddy,
Like I
I'm
said,
not.
Go ahead.
I want to call plays, and I recruited DJ Lagway, and now you want me to let somebody else call plays for DJ Lagway? Kick rocks.
No.
Kick rocks, bro.
I mean, if my contract's fully guaranteed, I probably think the same way too. You know what I mean?
Straight up, you couldn't have
You
said
just
that.
gotta
better.
adjust, man.
Kevin O'Sullivan said to me a long time ago, it's always stuck with me. Great players make good coaches look great. You have a great player at quarterback.
And he
Well, now
knows it.
you now have some like really solid talent around, right? Like that.
You get 90% of your offensive line back.
I understand what you're saying from his
You need to find another
mindset.
tackle, but
I understand
All-American
everything you're
back,
saying, but
guards are back.
like from my
Yeah.
perspective, I ain't Billy, so like he probably believes all that, like Lagway. From my perspective, I'm looking at a talent that we haven't had at quarterback in a very long time. He got some really good athletes and players around him. Like they got some talent out of this world. So as a fan, I'm nervous that we're gonna waste these 2 years, like of what this could be, and then if we waste these 2 years and it don't hit right, then we probably start all the way over again.
Is it your kind of position, Corey? And this isn't me disagreeing, just for clarification of the listeners, is the offensive style or the person calling plays?
I like the offense. I
and
like the
Billy
offense
Napier that you
itself.
just don't feel as
I think it's
confident?
just what college football is.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Marcus Freeman is a DC. He could call his own defense, but he has a top-notch defensive coordinator, defensive mind in college football, and Al Golden calling his defense. Kirby Smart can call his own defense, but like he's gonna hire guys. Like it's too much to be a head coach these days. Like they deal with too much. It's too much. You only got so much bandwidth, bro. And as a CEO, I think you gotta delegate. That's just where college football is these days. So I like the offense. I do understand some of the pickles he's been put in, play calling wise, Ladway not being able to use his legs, all of that stuff. But there's some just situational play calling that has been off. And I just think I'm not saying it's got to be some super duper, splash higher, but I think some type of change got to be made for us to get to that, for us to peak and get where we're supposed to be at. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, we all could be, right? And that's why we do the show each week, and opinions are subject to be correct, subject to be wrong.
I'm gonna lie either
TBD,
way.
and we're allowed to change with
What it
more
is.
information. But
Like,
yeah, oh no, we're still gonna cheer, right? I mean, this is an off season where we're getting the Gators top 10 in preseason rankings and looking into next year and what that might be looking like. DJ Lagway is a top 2 or 3 Heisman candidate right now based on betting odds. So we're going to lie either way. So that leaves Florida, just to run this through one more time. Jabbar Jalouk, Billy Gonzalez sign. Still waiting on an update on Rob Sale and Mike Peterson. Oh, Tyler Miles, the strength and conditioning coach, also was extended. He was on a 1-year contract. So that leaves Florida with an open DC or spot on defense. No offensive coordinator today, and we're still waiting on the GM equivalent position that they've been interviewing for. Billy Napier, I believe, was quoted saying, "I think we move slower than most people would like."
Yes.
I think that's a fantastic self-evaluation from Mr. Napier. So,
yeah, they interviewed 5. It won't be called. It's not going to be a GM. Jacob LaFrance is GM, so it'll be like vice president of football operations.
who does he answer to? Who does vice president?
It will be interesting to see how Billy, because he's not going to be like it's not going to be an on-field coach. I think that person is kind of like an NFL GM.
Don't
like
answer to the head
numbers
coach.
Make sense, and
yeah, no, that's what I was wondering, if we think that there's ever going to be a world where there actually is like a true GM that reports directly to the AD. Passes. I mean, I know it's different, right?
but like
in trades and free agency. And
the structure of college football though is athletic director, football coach, and like the only person that the football coach would answer to is the athletic director.
I think that's going to change. I think it's going to start. I think it's going to start at a smaller school. I don't think it's going to happen at a school like Florida, but I wouldn't be surprised if, a Wake Forest, the University of Louisiana, all right, University of Texas, El Paso. A UT Chattanooga tries it out.
UT Chattanooga.
Because I do think that's going to be the way that it goes.
Already.
That'd be weird. I mean, you'd have to have somebody solid in that.
I think this if
like you're not worried about them leaving. If that person's hiring and firing your coach,
I don't think they got to hire and fire. I just think you need the buffer and somebody not under the regime to kind of push things back, right? Correct.
You need a no man or a non
in that spot. Man. That's what it's for in the NFL, right?
Honestly, it should be Silk.
I got time, man. We can negotiate this thing, bro.
All the time.
Right. I got to talk with Dan first, see if he can run this thing without me.
Football budget would be.
I mean, if you're in that role, I think we figure it out. We gotta stay talking as much as we do. All right, so that's where we're at. Let's give a quick ad read to our friends over at Home Field Apparel. Go visit homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale, all one word, at checkout. That'll get you 15% off of your order. Anything that you want, Florida Gators, kind of retro design worthy. They have there for UF and also for about 100 different other schools. So go check out homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale. The baseball pullover comes back in March. Probably the most requested item that we hear from. So homefieldapparel.com.
I can't hold it over everyone's head anymore.
Say what?
I can't hold it over everyone's head anymore.
No, just give it maybe a couple more weeks. Get the get the juices tingling a little bit, maybe at the middle of March or middle of February. So again, homefieldapparel.com, promo code Stadium and Gale. Dallas Wilson, notoriously not on campus, not enrolled at the University of Florida, is expected to enroll by the end of this week. So news for you all. Urban Meyer.
Oh, honestly,
yeah,
I want to applaud Gator Nation, unless I've missed it.
Yeah,
the lack of freak out.
I don't think
my DMs is crazy.
The lack of freak out that I've seen
Well,
Okay.
I think that the timeline seemed relatively chill on it. I don't know
Yes.
if it was like as.
I think it's
popular of a
everybody's kind of well informed on his
thing.
situation and that he's gonna get in like on most message boards and group chats. Everybody kind of know like he's gonna make it on campus. Just time let a few things expire here. But if there was any vagueness about it, yeah, we'd be turning up. You think Billy's mentions for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, then I
we're well
retract.
informed.
I retract my praise.
Fan base.
Well, no, I think your praise is still fine to have. I think you can still have that praise because they didn't freak out. Urban Meyer elected or voted into the College Football Hall of Fame, came to Gainesville this past weekend, and sat down with Steve Spurrier in an interview that we got some good quotes from. One thing that was interesting to me was Urban Meyer said, sorry, let me find it. I have incredible respect for Florida, worked our ass off, wish I didn't leave. That's the one thing I'll regret, asterisk mark, for the rest of my life is the way I left. Not in a bad way. I was blown out. Wish I didn't leave. Do you think he means that he wished he didn't actually leave or that he didn't leave the way that he did? What do you guys think? And where would Florida be?
Yeah, it would have never stopped, bro. Like it'd be just him and Bama slugging it out. You feel me? And we had the head start. We started this SEC run with Urban Meyer, and then the league kind of went crazy. So I don't think it would have ever slowed down, bro. He would have dominated for a very long time. But culturally, I don't know if the city of Gainesville could have handled what was boiling up.
Buddy. No, they handled it. They were not the entire football team was banned from downtown for I think like an entire semester. I think they kind of so like the city was handling it.
A part of him leaving was handling it as well, right?
Yeah, I don't think it would have worked out long term with the way that it was going, right? You obviously had a lot of your off-field issues. I think you had some recruiting issues. I know that there's a very noted story, no offense to him, but Jeremy Finch, the Gators needed a safety, so he went on to Rivals.com, looked at the highest ranked uncommitted safety and immediately offered him. So I think that there was definitely a lot going on in his life, but if he didn't suffer through some of that health stuff and all of the other stuff, it's nice to look back and wonder where Florida would be.
Damn, we were lucky. That was Silk too. It was a little before Jordan's time. Jordan was not a Gator yet, but to be in college during those times, like I was up there.
I went in college.
When you're a peak annoying fan, yeah, like that was the time. I was at UCF wearing my 15 jersey, just being the most obnoxious UCF student I could be every single Saturday.
Isn't that every week?
They were like, you don't go here. Like, you don't even go there. I'm like, yeah, because I'm dumb. That's why I'm here with you idiots.
Yeah. Twitter was not really around. It kind of was. I mean, more so towards the end. And I mean, obviously Twitter 16 years ago is very different than Twitter now.
100%.
But if Twitter was what it is now,
I think we would have lost some of the kids. We would have lost some of the kids from the team.
Will Hill got Twitter for a little minute there.
It would have been agreed.
Sour.
Yeah,
sour. No, we would have.
I have some great Will Hill stories. I wish I could share them on the pod.
Would have. That's for the Patreon. And we gotta wait till the statute of limitations runs out.
What a guy. I mean, I don't know if some of those things ever will run out.
What a guy. That's a compliment right there, bro. As like
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Dan is looking off into the distance, like a POW, recalling their time that they spent captured. Dan's
there was a lot of stuff that didn't even make like the news about Will Hill.
Dan's in shell shock
around him, and
we'll get him on some content.
I don't want to. Whatever. I'll tell you guys off. We'll get let's get Will Hill on the show. I'd love to chat with him and we
No
can
doubt.
address some of these things in person.
What a guy. That's the name of
What
the
a
show
guy.
for sure.
What a guy. What a guy. All right. Any
what do you guys think? So Urban, I like the Ring of Honor, how hard it is to get into the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
You've got the UF Hall of Fame for everyone. But the Ring of Honor, like Percy Harvin and the Pouncey brothers don't qualify for the Ring of Honor. Like the Ring of Honor is elite of elite. Urban Meyer, I think, is the only Gator alive right now who's not in it that qualifies.
Okay.
Do you think Florida will put him in the Ring of Honor, and what timeline do you think that is?
Yes. Soon. And I want to say that this podcast brought him back into the good favor of Gator Nation. So we should be invited to the Ring of Honor ceremony. Because if Nick, I know you weren't on the show, Jordan, obviously you weren't. But
Right.
4 years ago, Urban Meyer did his first, this was pre-Jaguars, Urban Meyer. I know it didn't last long, but just kind of think about it in your mind. Brought him onto the show for what I believe he thought was like a 15-minute interview that turned into like an hour and a half. But I hope
I'll
we're
text him.
invited.
I got his
Will
number.
we be? Probably not, but I'd like to think that we are.
Once y'all threw me in that group
Yeah.
chat one time, I saved it. I was like, well, I got to save this. Thanks, Ahmad.
Save
Hey, I texted him when he got the Jags. Like, hey, welcome aboard, coach. He said, thanks. I was like, oh, yes. I don't know who the hell just texted from this 561 number, but he responded, man. So shout out to that.
But yeah, no. So I definitely think that he should be in the Ring of Honor. I think that most Gator fans are ready to welcome him back, and certainly having him around Gainesville would be nice. I mean, he lives down, I think, full time in Sarasota now, so only a couple hour drive from Gainesville. And having a coach like him with the stature that he had, and obviously what he did for University of Florida, in my opinion, like the bad
what
blood
will keep
is gone.
one out
Or
of the
it
Ring of
should.
Honor?
I think some of the stuff that happened at his steakhouse might have
Lap
reset the
dance?
timer.
What?
I think we hit the reset button.
No, I don't think people care. I
I
mean,
think the steakhouse saga reset
the
the UAA's
steakhouse
timer
saga
of when
was-
Urban would go.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the UAA is ready to do it, and then that something happened publicly, and it was like, okay, we've got to we got to get some distance from this situation. Which every day is more distance.
I got a hand in back pockets and shit.
That's.
He did, bro.
I think it's going to happen. I think we were getting close to it, and I think we hit the reset. But I think we're good. I think it needs to happen. And I told him that when we interviewed him, I was like, listen, I know you're not going to campaign for it, but we will campaign. Urban Meyer's name belongs in the Ring of Honor.
yes.
100%.
Yes, it does. Let's see. He talked his biggest recruiting blunder
Oh, my
was
man.
CJ
Like,
Spiller.
He was Lake City, right?
He said it wouldn't have been fair if we got him. Yeah, 30 miles
Bro,
away.
I thought we was gonna.
He said
I
it
thought we was
still
gonna get
eats
that
him
kid,
up.
man.
That's why he can't be a coach anymore. That's probably why Urban was such a great recruiter. But the fact that CJ Spiller, who hasn't been in the league in a decade, in the NFL for a decade, is still eating you up, and you didn't get him after you've won.
We were struggling
4
with
national
traditional running
championships
backs at that time.
at
Like
two
we had
different
Rainey,
schools.
we had Demps, but we couldn't get
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't pan out after the
Emmanuel
transfer
Moody.
over, but we were struggling with,
Oh,
and
no.
there was so many coming out, but a lot of running backs didn't want to play in the spread
Butterfingers.
offense back then. It had a stigma for running backs. CJ
Right.
Spiller in that offense would have been problems, my brother. The kids, if y'all don't know who CJ Spiller is, just go look at his high school.
Yeah.
He got one of them tapes. He was like that.
Oh, he's incredible. And there was a lot of rumors floating
Yeah.
around that he was ready to transfer from Clemson to Florida, sit out a year, and that he was in the coach's office. I forgot who the head coach was. I don't think it was Dabo. I think it was before
No, it was Dabo.
And they convinced him to stay.
No, that's
And there
Dabo.
was
That's Dabo era.
CJ Spiller rumors.
They had him. They
Every
had Jacoby Ford. Yeah, they had a bunch of them boys. That's
Was it?
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, then it was early Dabo. So, but yeah, so Urban Meyer, college football Hall of Fame. I think the only other person that could potentially be eligible that's even close would be Fred Taylor, right? If he ever gets
Fred
in.
Taylor for sure.
Nick, I'm looking for your seal of approval.
On Fred Taylor being in the NFL Hall of Fame?
No, if he gets into the NFL Hall of Fame.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And my unpopular take, because I know the fan base, I don't think Fred's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, boy.
Just made me shed 2 tears saying that one right there.
Like Fred.
Can
Fred's
I get a
great.
why? Can I get a little bit of...
I think he's got 2 Pro Bowls.
Okay.
Over 12 years. I think he was one of the better. I reserve Hall of Fame for you were the best, unquestionably, at your position for a period of time. Not you were really, really good. Like I just said, I like that Percy Harvin isn't even eligible. As good as Percy was, I like that he's not eligible for the Ring of Honor. But yeah, it's unpopular.
I think he eventually gets in.
Well, this is gonna get clipped, and everybody will know your pick.
Yeah, they're gonna.
He only has a couple more years to get in, right? It's been probably 12.
I think you can get like an alumni tap or whatever.
Yeah, but I guess you're in, but you don't want that one.
Give me a beige.
If that's the only one you can
take
get.
a brown.
Yeah.
They didn't ask you how you got there.
This isn't even a gold jacket. Whatever.
Is your bust in there?
He's top 12, 13 all time.
But I do think
10,000 yards, over 10,000 yards rush. He battled injuries, but bro, he got some 63, 73-yard runs against the Dolphins in the playoffs. He got some records, bro. He's Jaguars all-time leading rusher. He would probably be the only second Jag. I'm pretty sure it's the second Jag ever. Only Boselli's in the Hall of Fame. But I think he got some numbers that stack up, with some of the best of that time.
I think he's got longevity.
Fred went crazy some seasons, my brother. And I think the first 2 he was like hurt. Yeah, it was the AFC was loaded with running backs. You had Edgerrin James. I'm trying to remember who else in that era. Yeah, Edgerrin James at the Colts. They was in the same division. Who else was in the AFC at that time?
Yeah, Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame. That's the most recent
TD,
comment.
2,000
yards, a little earlier than him.
2,000-yard season,
I would say.
Yeah, I'm not. I've got to look to see, but I know there's just a ton of talent, and that's
an unpopular opinion. And I enjoy being popular.
Let you ride on that tape by yourself, my brother.
No, I wouldn't bring that take around.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that too much longer, big dog. I think that one to yourself.
Two thug Gator tears right there. All right, let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at Game Time Sidekicks. Go visit them, Game Time Sidekicks. I've got this SEC cup from them, which is awesome. But go visit them, GameTimeSidekicks.com. Yeah, 2-5 got his shit.
Boy, the black one. I was like, bro, I need that one right there, boy. Not the black one he got.
You don't have the black one?
Yeah, I do. But talking about
got one.
They sent me 2 black ones.
Yeah, I love the OG Albert though, man. You can't never go wrong with that one.
Fighting Albert, gangster.
Come on.
Go visit them. GameTimeSidekicks.com. Promo code Stadium15 will get you 15% off of your order. Best cups that I use every single day. Will keep your hot drinks hot, your cold drinks cold. A lot of really cool, unique Gator designs. A lot of other colleges and some NIL stuff on there as well. Owned and run out of Knoxville, Tennessee, but by a Gator fan. So support somebody living in enemy territory by visiting GameTimeSidekicks.com. Promo code Stadium15 at checkout will get you 15% off of your order. The comment section is
rightfully so
going after Nick. Priest Holmes
Daniel
was around
Thompson
during that time.
Was an actual killer, and he is right too. That's the golden arrow. That's the last running backs that are going to hit those type of numbers, man. Not too many people are going to catch that 10K. Yeah,
LT's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And you can't hold.
We were a good team then.
The Jags are a bad team.
Leftwich by the time he really started going crazy. And we had Maurice Jones-Drew. He shared the ball with him. Big Henderson at DT.
MJD.
We had Jimmy Smith and
ball.
McCardell at receiver.
But you say Maurice Jones-Drew, but like Maurice Jones-Drew was
nice.
like that guy coming out from Marshall.
Maurice Jones-Drew went to UCLA. Leftwich.
No. Quarterback. Byron Maxwell. Leftwich. Byron Maxwell, bro.
Nick
my names are off.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
I swear it's water in here. It's just water. It's just water in here. I promise.
Yeah, Jerome Bettis was around during that time. There's a bunch of them. So that's where we're at. Gators do get 2 transfer portal commits. Michael Caraway is the first one, defensive back. Get some details here on Michael Caraway. You'd think I'd have this pulled up.
While you looked that up, I saw Silk found him.
Keon Coleman
shutting down.
I had it loaded up.
Keon Coleman.
Yeah. 6'2", 195 pounds. Joining Florida from Southern Miss. Looks like a dog. I mean, in his picture, he looks crazy athletic. So comes over as ranked as the number 71 overall. I'm sorry, in high school, he was the number 71 overall prospect out of JUCO, and then he is the 243rd ranked player in the transfer portal via 247 Sports. Gators obviously need some depth at that position, but probably not anticipating him starting.
Yeah, just from
next year. But
what I'm understanding, what I'm told, I don't know how invested they were at the position with like some of the porter guys they brought in. I don't know how much, like a lot of this is NIL, right? And I don't know how much money they wanted to allocate towards that position. We got a lot of young talent. I do think we do need a veteran in that room of some sort, because Devin Moore hasn't been healthy since like his junior year in high school or something. So he's been fragile. We're banged up this spring with a couple guys being out. One is Jameer Grimsley. I think Dijon is probably going to be in bubble wrap as well this spring. They want to, he's battling some injuries. They want to keep him healthy. So we're banked. Yeah, and then Aaron Gates is out with an injury as well. So the DB room is banged up. They love the talent in the room. I wanted some depth pieces for that alone, just health reasons. But from what I was told, transfers coming in, some of those guys coming in, a couple didn't even make it on visits. And they ended up programs that had a decent sized check for them. And I don't think we was invested with the DB room the way it is. They feel confident about it. I like this pickup for a depth piece. We'll see what happens with Asa Turner and him applying for an extra year of eligibility. But you get a chance in the second window. You get to see what the team looks like, spring football. And in the second window, if you need a DB, you go get one. He just can't come from the SEC. But that's where they at with it.
Yep. Yeah, so that's where they're at. 24 tackles, 1 pass deflection last season, 1 fumble recovery. The year before that, 18 tackles for solo, 23 total tackles, 4 pass deflections. So not a ton of production, but also I will be honest with you, didn't watch a ton of Southern Miss football last year. So can't tell you if they weren't targeting how much he played, but certainly a depth piece with a lot of experience and 1 year left to play at the University of Florida. And, like Corey said, sometimes you need, that person that's 3rd, 4th, 5th on the depth chart, because Florida was playing 5, 6, and 7 to end the year. So that's where they're at. Deshaun Purdy, we talked a little bit about him last week. He is decided to go to Wake Forest. So the Gators grab Harrison Bailey, who was in the same class, I believe, as Carson Beck, ranked as the number 2 quarterback in that class. So the Gators were able to get the top quarterback in that class for the state. But Harrison Bailey comes to Florida from Louisville via Tennessee and a couple of other places, has been around.
Was a Tennessee Vol.
He was. I remember Dan Mullen, or was it all the way
Wait,
back?
it was Tennessee, UNLV, Louisville.
Yeah.
Florida, am I missing one?
No, I think that's it. I
crazy.
think, was it Dan Mullen or was it Jim McElwain that was highly recruiting? No, it must have been Dan Mullen. But
Yeah, if he's in the
Bailey
same class as Beck, it's Dan Mullen.
That guy for Florida. Yeah. but I feel like there was conversations maybe even before. Regardless, he is going to be joining as a backup quarterback, whether that's position 2, whether that's position 3. You bring somebody in with experience into that role. He's not wet behind the ears, I believe is what Billy Napier said about him. So he's had some experience in playing, and hopefully you don't
Prayers
have to
up.
see a ton of him next year. But
Yeah, I like
hopefully
to
he's
get
capable
for a
of backup.
backup. What you need, you got a guy that's got to come in here and be willing to ride the bench. I guess we did tell him that DJ Latway's on the team, so hopefully he's not surprised and he get up out of here next week.
Yep.
Wait, who?
That was the wildest thing.
That was wild. Like I said, yeah.
He thought he was going to compete for the job. I do like, even in the Purdy case, like clearly they put some stipulations on where he could transfer when they let him out of the letter of intent. So he ended up at Wake Forest. Good spot for him. Maybe he could beat Miami or Florida State or something, man. But I think it's a good get. If we get the quarterback 2 or 3, we won't have an Ivy League walk-on this year.
Yeah, he played. Harrison Bailey played in the bowl game that Louisville won against Washington, 35-34. He was 16 of 25 for 164 yards and 3 touchdowns. He kind of played sparingly throughout the year. He played against Austin Peay to start the season in mop-up time. Then he played Jacksonville State. But doing some rough math here, has completed – oh, geez, quick math is about 150 out of – no, that's 150 attempts on 70, 90. So he probably averages somewhere, just doing quick math, somewhere around the mid-60s in terms of completion percentage, maybe slightly higher than that. His best year statistically was his freshman year back in 2020, where he was 48 of 68 for 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, with a long of 74 when he played for Tennessee. So Gators grab a backup quarterback, and Florida still has some potential needs, and we're waiting to see if anything else happens. No, Bailey and Becker, same class, and Stroud. Yeah. So that's where Florida's at with the transfer portal today. A couple of the prospects that we talked about last week and the week before from NC State, where there's some travel issues and that kind of stuff, they've committed elsewhere. So, Nick, as far as you're concerned, Corey, as far as you're concerned, not much between now and next couple weeks?
No, I mean, if there's a offensive tackle with experience from Notre Dame or Ohio State that want to hop in the portal, but like outside of getting an offensive lineman, an offensive tackle, I think Florida's roster is set.
How aggressive have they even been? I don't even think they're that aggressive with offensive tackles, right? Though. Like, they might like what they got.
No, I mean it's you don't go. They like what they have, but they're just going to be young. They're going to be super hella young, like redshirt freshman Caden Jones, redshirt freshman Fletcher Westfall. Like they like them, but you're going to be putting a 19-year-old
other programs is doing
right tackle in the SEC.
We ain't the only program that's going to put a sophomore on the field, baby.
I get it.
Like, they ready. We'll see what's up, but it don't look as if.
You think you're ready until
we gonna find
until you going against one of them guys. Yeah.
Until you get who was that boy? Nick something.
I mean, they're gonna face some killers.
Boy is gonna be a top.
They're gonna face some killers. They're gonna face some first round draft picks in practice. So like
yes, buddy, you're facing boogeymen. You are facing the scary fake thing that was in the closet that your mom was
always hyping up the other teams, Nick.
All of a sudden, Nick Scorton's lining up against you, and you're like,
boogie monsters in the closet.
Boogeyman does exist.
We the big boogie monster, bro.
Nick Scorton is a boogie monster.
We the boogie monster, bro. Ain't no boogie monster, bro. We the boogie monster, dog. George Gums and Caleb Banks is the boogie monsters, bro. Talking about Cam James is the boogie monster, bro. What's up?
I'll take George Gums looks like a boogie monster.
Absolutely.
I said George Gums looks like a boogie monster. I would not want George Gums under my bed.
Whoa. Okay.
So under my bed, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, do you still go to practices and stuff? Like,
so I will be at more practice now. When the media gets kicked out, Florida Victorious does not. So I will be at.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
you
be at all
big chilling,
practice.
inside scoop kind of guy, huh?
I might have to get intern Jordan Florida Victorious intern Jordan Scarlett out there with me.
Hey,
Maybe walk
boy,
over to
stay
Bar
tuned,
Luke and
right?
see if 2.5's got any eligibility left. How are
Okay.
those feet moving?
For real, they're still good to go. I hope.
I hope.
In recruiting news, Florida received a recruiting prediction machine flip from Keith Niebuhr from On3 for cornerback Onis Conanberry, who Florida, he's currently committed to Tennessee. Florida tried to get him to sign in the early signing period. He said he needed some time, but Florida still looks to be trending for Otis Conanberry, a 4-star cornerback. So that would close out the class of 2025. And then the class of 2026, we are now starting to see some names. Do we want to go over some of those?
No, I was just looking at mine. My RPMs are still up.
Yeah.
9 of 11 all time, 81%.
9 of 11.
Joshua
I'm still
Moore
trying
got
to get him.
Joshua Moore. What was the other one? Was it?
It was Cormani and Joshua Moore. My only misses.
Yeah. I think for the class of 2026, the big name right now is Malik Morris. He is a 4-star linebacker, 6'1", 225 pounds, out of Lakeland High School. He is potentially the next to commit for that class. Clifton Hester, the safety, is trending to UF today. Jacoby Green, an interior offensive lineman, is trending right now. Landon Meyer, tight end, 6'3", 205 pounds, is trending in favor, trending towards Florida. Now there's a lot that could change. Camden Jensen, 6'7", tight end, is trending. Paris Melvin, a 6-foot athlete. These are all where Florida is in the
that's one show.
right now,
I guess when the content kind of slow down, let's just go over the board. Running backs, who they after, receivers, who they after, who they got on the board. If I could probably get like some type of pecking order, how they view them, that'd be dope too. I don't want to follow. Well, I personally don't follow all the nuances and everything in recruiting wise. I want to follow it from a bird's eye view, and monitor everything. And when November hit, we can hone in a little bit. But recruiting is shenanigans, and the negotiations start in November, bro. Yeah. It is.
It's a
waste
young
of time,
game.
bro. Like
it's a young man's game.
Oh, it used to be so much fun, and now it's impossible.
Yeah, but you're right. Like the portal has changed it. I think all of us. Never mind, 2.5's not. I'm for the portal. I thought the players needed to be able to move freely. You can get a coach like Jordan. Jordan signed up to play for Juwan. It was not Juwan. It was, who was your first running back?
Tim Skipper.
Signed up to play for Tim Skip. Come back for your sophomore season. All of a sudden, Tim Skip's coaching linebacker
coach. I'm like, what?
And you're like, what? What would happen? You get Juwan for a little bit, then you get Greg Knox, and it's just like, listen, why can coaches move freely? But I think the problem is, Florida was a benefactor of it. DeAndre Robinson picked Texas over you. Jameer Grimsley picked Nick Saban. Said, I don't know about Florida's coaching staff, but the one thing you know about Alabama is Nick Saban's always going to be there. He enrolls, 4 days later, Nick Saban retires. That's tough. Life comes at you fast. So it benefited Florida, but I think having guys literally enroll at schools only to decommit, flip, and enroll before the winter session even starts kind of cheapens the excitement you have for signing day or early signing day.
You're right. Yes.
Every year, all year. Even every year, you got to follow the recruitment.
Every single year.
Yeah, you can't never get comfortable. You can't get comfortable.
It's mad, the DM game. It's really like your girl on Instagram. Everybody got access to her, bro.
Well, and then what we just learned from the Xavier Lucas fiasco, the Wisconsin defensive back that now enrolled at Miami, is there doesn't have to be a transfer portal. There's no NCAA rule that says that you can't unenroll from one school and enroll in a new school. So does that even hold muster anymore? So what's happening to college football? We don't know.
Now I
and
think
it's
out
hard
of
to
that
keep up
case,
with, so.
between Wisconsin and Miami, we're gonna get some guardrails here. You know, you need things like this to happen. I'm monitoring it because I'm petty versus Miami. I like to just annoy
Yeah.
them people. But also, I think is you're gonna get some change out of
Yeah.
this in some facet. And I think it's not a coincidence that Darren Heighton is always in the center of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'll take things that shocked me for 200, Alex. It will be interesting to see how a couple of these things play out. Obviously, today's inauguration day, so the DOJ and the Department of Education came out last week, and they were like, "Hey, you have to schools need to go by Title IX when they're giving out rev share payments." And the DOJ said some stuff about NILs, but if the schools have to abide by Title IX and the women's soccer midfielder has to make the same as DJ Lagway in rev
That's
share,
insane.
then that makes the
100%.
NIL collectives, I think, even more important.
Yeah.
Because we are not institutions, a third party, not an institution that has to abide by Title IX.
Yeah.
But I think Department of Education, what a world we live in. Department of Education Secretary Linda McMahon might have some different thoughts on how that's going to be.
We should see if Linda will come on the show.
I would love
and just
to
chat with her
have
about what her
Vince
thoughts are
McMahon's
on
wife
all of the things that they
on
want
the
to do in this
show.
administration with the Department of
That's
Education, what her
crazy.
thoughts are on NIL and transfer portal in college football, and where on the priority list it is.
Where,
you know.
But there's going to be a bunch of stuff. Like the House case hasn't even been pushed through to become law yet. So we're still kind of in this like limbo area. But if the schools and rev share, if the schools have to abide by Title IX stipulations when it comes to rev share, that's going to put a huge emphasis on Florida Victorious and other companies that, third party companies that are collectives of other schools.
Yeah, a lot to look out for because obviously Wisconsin did not even allege. They said that Miami tampered. So curious to see what kind of can of worms that opens as well.
If the player comes to the coach or the agent comes to the coach and say, the University of Miami or the University of USF or Florida Gators is offering such and such, that's the proof right there alone. Like, that's tampering. That happens like regularly too, like in college football. Like that's what's happening.
I think what happened is that Wisconsin didn't enter him into the portal because he had signed a 2-year deal for rev share.
Well, and I think that they had assumed that there was tampering, not assumed, but that they had proof of tampering as to why they also were not going to enter his.
So his case is, when I say I want to go in the portal, you've got 48 hours, and you didn't do that. And their case is like, well, we're going to challenge that, and we would like to go to court to show how Miami was talking to you while you were under contract under a legally binding contract with us.
They standing on something. It's going to get. What happens next? They go to court. Like, what's the vibes of this?
I don't know. We'll see.
What's the
vibes? Judge Judy.
What's the vibes? Are we going Supreme Court? So you're just looking.
Yeah. I think it goes immediately to Judge Judy.
Immediately to Judge Judy.
12 minutes to plead both sides of the case. Go.
I think the best part about that, what's the vibes, is I don't know that Corey actually cares. I think he's just looking for more bullets to fire off in Miami's direction.
I'm really not even like trying to entertain or even piss them people off anymore, to be real with you. I'm just curious for a lot of different things, right? NCAA have proved itself to be just no really governing entity right now. They have no real power. The kid, they admit that the transfer portal is not real. There's a lot of vagueness that they got to figure out real soon because the spring window is coming up again. And if the whole world's watching, the whole country's watching, players are watching, coaches are watching, and if there's no real rules and guidelines and nobody goes to court and there's no real action behind this, like, it's going to become more chaotic in the spring window, in my opinion.
The NCAA's episode of Sesame Street was sponsored by the letter L because they just got nothing but L's in court. And it just seems like every time they lose another case, it's just someone else is like, okay, well, how much farther can we push it? Because they haven't caught a win, I think, since they gave SMU the death penalty.
Well, yeah.
What if we just keep trying to get
Well, that's the
get more and
problem
more?
with the NCAA not really having any power other than what their perceived power of the member organizations are. And if the member organizations are not all 100% in line or in agreement, or to say, hey, we're going to play in this gray area, you're going to make somebody mad. And all of a sudden you're going to create these issues where they're not going to act because they don't have the teeth to act. They don't have the proper authority to act, or they don't feel like they're going to be able to withhold that thought in a court of law, where obviously we've seen the NCAA just absolutely get shredded over the last few years. And some of it is probably a lack of action over the last couple decades and not trying to solve some of these issues before they become actual issues. But yeah, I mean, I think that the courts are going to be teeming with NCAA activity. And I'm very curious to see where we end, because right now it is the wild, wild west, and every day
I know we
becomes more
all
wild and more west.
in the back of all of our minds. What time the game come on, bro? It's on chat. 7:30.
It comes on 7:30 ish. You know, kind of like this show starts
We're
at
running.
6-ish.
Oh yeah, it says 7:30, which means
7:45.
the national anthem
Cross,
is
Nelly,
7:45.
Yeah.
No.
I
don't
think they're
know.
busy right now. I think they're in DC right
No doubt.
now. I did see that Travis Scott's doing the halftime show.
Yeah, I saw Travis Scott on the halftime show. I did see that.
Yeah, the bands are marching on the field right now. That guy from Ohio, is that Ohio State's band? I'm sure he's going to do his little running and bend backwards. Yeah, it's Ohio. They're doing their marching O right now. So about 15 minutes ago.
So what's up, man? Who y'all like tonight?
Yeah, that was the
Man,
last question. What do you guys
I
like?
like Ohio State in real life, but Marcus Freeman. I'm just rooting for Marcus Freeman, bro. First black. Yeah.
Would he be the first African?
He's the first in the
he'd be
game.
I guess
He
he's the
doesn't
first in the
really
game, so he'd be
lead
the
with all
first-
this stuff, and I respect that as well.
That's
Like
crazy.
however people approach their professions, careers, all that, I leave that up to them. But he is the first, black coach in this game. So that would be dope. Martin Luther King Day, him win it. I think it would be symbolic for a few different reasons and whatnot. Sometimes I'm into that. So I want Notre Dame to win, but my brain tells me my bet money says Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm the exact same. I'm rooting for the Golden Domers tonight. Shout out to the Catholics, young Catholic boy here. I've never liked Ohio
I
State.
don't like neither of them people.
I've never liked those people.
Young Catholic. Boy.
Easy to root for, but if I'm putting my money down, I'm holding my nose and betting Ohio State.
Yeah. I think Ohio State wins. I don't think I've ever thought I would say this, that I do hope Notre Dame wins. It just seemed like a better story, but the Ryan Day redemption arc is something worth monitoring
they
and
want it.
studying.
No, it's not.
Here, there were some
It sure
people when
is,
we were
Nick.
doing our little
He
coaching
can
board
pound sand,
thing.
too.
We were saying Ryan Day, and they was like, "No, never." like what?
Yeah. All I know.
Hey man, they've got
Yeah.
the best team money can buy.
well, that's college football. That's college football.
Tonight might
baby.
be
Doesn't matter.
tonight
He's
might be
the head
coaching
coach.
versus NIL.
Well, you can say that about any company. You could say that about NVIDIA, Facebook, Apple. They are the best companies and highest worth companies because they pay the
How's
most
my
money.
NVIDIA stock doing?
That's the way that the world works. And if you're going to go out there and you still have to be a team, you still have to win. And
Right,
all I
for
know
sure.
is the list that we gave out was limited. Dan Thompson's list was limited, and two of the coaches that were on the
Neither
list
one
were
of
two
them,
coaches
and they
that-
snapped on you for it, Dan. Like,
A
oh, what
bunch
are
of
you
it-
crazy?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What else?
Coach
is
your
new,
coach.
man?
That's funny.
Dan doesn't
Yeah,
know ball. Well, who knows?
Who you
now?
got?
Who knows ball now?
I'm rocking with Ohio State, man. I got two young guys from Bragg County out there, Brandon Ennis and Jeremiah Smith. Brandon Ennis actually played for my little brother's
Nice.
little league team. They both played at PPO together. So rocking for the young boys, man. I want to see Lil Bray get him a ring tonight. So
2-5. Got to start steering those boys a little farther south.
Hey, I'm
Ohio.
trying.
Bro,
But
they
need you to be a better
bro,
recruiter.
they just churned
Right?
Ohio
I mean,
State's in their bag.
Need you to recruit a little better, 2-5.
If them
You
boys
know?
put me in some uniform, I could try a little harder. The boys ain't trying to put me in a uniform, so
Listen,
they get what they give at this rate.
We've got to talk to our governor, and maybe just like put an Ohio ban. Like Brian Hartline cannot come back to the state of
Put it
Florida.
on the ballot.
Oh, that would be good.
You just can't. If you are a football coach in the state of Ohio, you are not allowed into the state of Florida.
Yeah, he coming back. Yeah,
you can Zoom, maybe do some FaceTime, but face to face, no sir.
No, not
You
allowed.
can't come back to our state.
Sorry, not allowed. Just the idea of having such a niche thing on the ballot is absolutely hysterical. Just imagine somebody that lives in like Apopka that doesn't follow college football going to the ballot box.
Yeah,
Like,
just
what's
keep 'em
this?
out,
Why are we
man.
banning somebody from our state?
We don't want them migrating here. We don't want them coaching down here. Keep everybody up north. Stay up there.
No. Yeah. Go find some receivers in Nebraska or something.
Full.
Traffic.
Maybe they have some in New
on our
Jersey.
roads, you know. All right, guys. I think that brings us to the end of our show. Any other comments before we wrap up with one final ad read?
happy birthday to Big Dan,
brethren.
man. Dan the man. What we doing here? Turn up tonight. I hope you live it up tonight.
Ready to get after it. Big year ahead. Big year ahead. A lot I want to accomplish. So I appreciate that. Oh, and I want to give a quick thank you to everybody that donated. As you guys know, we've talked about it. We raise money for cancer research every year. For my birthday, impacted my family a lot last year. My brother was diagnosed with cancer right after Thanksgiving of 2023. And last year he went into remission, and it was extra special this year. So I do want to give a quick shout out. I think we raised $2,310 for the V Foundation. So thank you to everybody that donated. Thanks for liking and retweeting or whatever we call it now. So I appreciate all of you guys for doing that. And Jordan, you have Song of the Week. Think about it for a second while I do a quick final ad read for our friends over at Alumni Hall. Go visit alumnihall.com. Anything that you want, Florida Gator fan, or for a Florida Gator fan in your life, young, old, man, woman, golfing, tailgating, whatever it might be, ornaments, tchotchkes, whatever it might be for the Gator fan in your life. Alumni Hall on Archer Road in Gainesville or alumnihall.com. You can get some golf stuff there. Jose, I know you've been asking about baseball for a while. We're going to talk about baseball shortly, and he's going to cover it a lot on Florida Victorious. So go check out Florida Victorious, become a member, go support the athletes. And you can even say your donation should go to the baseball players.
Yep. Yeah, you can earmark your donations, but we'll have a ton of coverage there. Interviewed Kevin O'Sullivan. You can check that out on YouTube. Depending on how the season goes.
We got to kick some baseball, bro. I'm definitely coming to a couple games this year, and as well. And we want to do a pop-up show, whatever it may be. But we got to show the baseball team love, man. Why not? Down to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Let's see. We'll have this conversation offline, but I'll send a Florida Victorious athlete, one of the baseball players, to the show.
Let's talk some baseball.
There you go.
Shout out to the basketball team, man. Beat Texas. We still ranked top 5. Shout out to Teacher Golden out here getting it in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Bro, the SEC is just nasty.
Yeah.
I think 9 of the 16 teams are in the top 25. Watching like Alabama lose. I think Mississippi State.
We broke Tennessee.
Somebody beat Ole Miss Saturday night. Ole Miss was ranked. It's just a nasty league. Might have to go up to Nashville again. Mentioning this, might have to go up to Nashville for the SEC basketball tournament.
Yes.
That sounds like a vibration.
A live pod from a rooftop bar.
That sounds like a vibration, man.
My language, brother.
Let's figure this out.
On my birthday,
buddy. That's not a vibration. That's an earthquake. That is an earthquake.
Nashville on my radar. White Atlanta, baby. I gotta go. That's a hell of a nickname. I gotta go.
Hey, that's for real though.
All right, Jordan, what do you got for Song of the Week, brother?
Oh
I'm going with the
yes.
Ball brother, man. Jello Tweakers. Our boys, look it up. If y'all ain't hear it yet, it's the most viral song out in this past week and a half. Go check it out. GELO Tweakers. It's one of the Ball
You
brothers. He's a
you
rapper
know why I
now.
think it really popped off multiple generations. One, it became like a TikTok sound.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when I heard it, I went, that is late 90s, early 2000s
Yeah,
New
that's
Orleans.
that 05 banger
Late
right there. So I'm
90s,
like, man,
early
if Fresh was to be on
2000s.
that
I heard
beat
it.
or
I'm like,
something,
yo,
It could have went
Birdman
several
could've
ways.
produced
So it
this
has, it
back in the
definitely got that
90s,
New
bro.
Orleans sound, that little juvie, swing to it, and then also Nelly a little bit with like certain pockets he get in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a bop. It's a bop.
yes, bro. He did his thing with
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's a sing along bop. You know what I mean? Like something you can go with. So
y'all go check it out, man. If y'all ain't heard it yet, go listen to it. Bump it one time for me, man. Stay hip, stay in tune. Y'all don't fall out the wave just because y'all get a little.
That's what
older.
kids
Stay
do
with
for
it,
you, man. My
stay
kids keep
out
me
the
on
way,
point with all the
y'all.
tunes, man.
Yeah, my next song will be Baby Shark.
Yeah, Baby Shark coming real
It's
soon.
going to take a little while before my
Yeah.
daughter is keeping me young. At this point,
No doubt.
we'll be doing Sesame Street.
Well, we appreciate everybody for watching. Before you leave, hit the like button, the subscribe button. We appreciate a couple thousand of you on X right now. Appreciate everybody for watching on YouTube. We're still trying to figure out this new platform. So if you see us again after this outro, just know we're still trying to figure it out. So we'll see you same corner, different time, back at 7:30 next week. See you guys.